the enemy tanks have stopped.
Why?
Why waste precious tanks when they can pick us off from the air like fish in a barrel?
There are 400,000 men on this beach.
Dunkirk is the newest film written and directed by Christopher Nolan, and it is about World War II, specifically the isolated events that happened at Dunkirk. And in the film, it tells you three separate narratives, one that's happening on land at Dunkirk with the guys trying to get out, and one that's happening in the air, and one that's happening in the sea with guys all trying to get towards Dunkirk and help their boys out. The film has an ensemble cast. I wouldn't really declare anyone as the lead because the way that it's cut and the way it's, presented, everyone's kind of got their own time to shine. And yeah, Mark Rylance is in it. You got Tom Hardy, who has his face covered up throughout the majority of the film because that's kind of become like a meme at this point. I don't know if he's just really into those types of roles or what, but he always has his face covered up in films. It's weird. And Cillian Murphy was in it, and I think somebody from One Direction was in it. Yeah, it had a pretty beefy cast, but it didn't have anyone huge stand out as the lead. Like, this is a vehicle for. It wasn't really like that. It was just like, this is a film about this, and that's the way it was presented. Yeah, as far as war movies go, I've never really seen a war movie like this because, first of all, it's short. It's an hour and 40 minutes long. War movies, or as I like to call them, dad movies, are typically 2 hours or more, usually like 2.5 hours or 3 hours, because they just feel like they have to give you so much information, I guess. This film was just right to the point. It just threw you into it and was just like, this is war. This is what war feels like. This is awful. Yeah, it was very accurate as far as all that goes, in my opinion, coming from someone who didn't live it, but it felt very real, and it was all just about the experience of and the hopelessness of trying to get out, and the dire situation that they were all in. The film was very British. Of course, Christopher Nolan is British, and just the sensibilities of the characters and the whole situation just felt extremely British. Yeah, there's not much I can really say as a negative towards this film because everything in it was just so masterfully done. The shots were absolutely gorgeous. Of course, so he used pretty much all practical effects in the film. Everything was period accurate as far as the ships and the planes and everything that they used in the film. Yeah, it told a really tense story, kept you on the edge of your seat pretty much the whole time. One thing that I love that he did in this film is it was such a straightforward story. There was no emotional manipulation. There was no love interest. There was no dead wife. I was surprised. They had 3 different moving parts, going all at once, and they were all happening at different times. I believe one was 1 week, one was 1 day, and one was 1 hour. And that was pretty clever. Didn't feel gimmicky to me, like his past movies kind of have, and I've enjoyed most of his films, but Memento, Inception, to an extent Interstellar, all these films they kind of got a little gimmick going on, and this film did not have that. Somebody argued with me on Twitter that the multiple scenarios happening intertwined was a gimmick, but I disagree because that's just a narrative technique. To me, to each his own. I think this is Christopher Nolan's best film because there was no fat in it. There was absolutely nothing in there that didn't need to be there. One of the biggest issues I have with his films is people never stop talking and they're just constantly pouring out page after page of exposition, and that's a really big issue with me in his films. Like the last act of Interstellar is ruined to me because of the fact that Matthew McConaughey is narrating every single thing that's happening. Just like, make sure you get this. We're not going to let you think on your own because this is too damn clever for you to understand. That I don't like. And that didn't exist in Dunkirk. It was just flat beeline to the end of the movie from the beginning. Like, it was just non-stop action, non-stop intensity. Something was going down in this movie, and you knew what the end goal was from the very beginning, and it was very blunt and straightforward about getting there, and it just felt like it was like lightning quick. It was such a, I don't know, it's really hard to say, like, it was such a lean movie. Is the best way I can put it. It was cut to perfection, and nothing was in there that didn't need to be there. And in that sense, I think that was probably his best movie. The only reason I would accept an argument otherwise is just based off subjectivity, because you like, you know, Batman properties more than you like war. I'm right there with you. But just looking at it objectively as the way he makes movies, he made his best movie with this one, and it can only go up from here, in my opinion.
Where are we going? Dunkirk. I'm not going back. There's no hiding from this, son. We have a job to do. If we go there, we'll die.
But yeah, Dunkirk is something that I highly recommend, especially if you are a history buff, or if you just love good movies. That's the best way I can say it. I don't think this movie will bore anyone. I do think that the subject matter is just not going to be interesting to some people. But like I said, if you're a cinephile and you're into this kind of stuff, you're going to love it. And if you are really into, you know, everything that it's about, then you're going to love it, because it's a good movie. But yeah, this has been Roy on Celluloid, on Regular Reviews, on Dunkirk. I'm on man Chris Nolan, on a bunch of supporting actors, on Dunkirk. Again, I think I said that one, and that's all the things. Have a good night. Thank you.